Hello! Welcome to watching VideoGaming Father's video review of an action platformer with a cute animal hero in the main role called Super Panda Adventures. Can one find any serious story there, or is it just a childish matter that even 5th graders would be ashamed of? Is it just a classic action platformer, or are there any complex mechanics hidden under the simple-looking surface? Will you be facing variable and original enemies in a challenging environment, or will the game become tiresome and repetitive too soon? Will the game make you desperate because of incredible difficulty? Are the game controls responsive and user-friendly, or will they make you suffer all time long? Are the game audiovisuals something that you can like, or on the contrary, won't they make you disgusted? Is it a family-friendly game supporting local multiplayer for even more fun? Just continue watching and you will get all essential information about the game within the next few minutes. There must be some childish story in the game with such a look, you are probably thinking right now. And honestly, you are not so far from the truth this time. The brave panda knight Fu is about to finish his training to become the new guardian of the panda princess. On the day of the big celebration party, some uninvited robots show up to conquer the planet and take the princess away in their spaceships. You take the role of brave panda knight, and your mission is to kick all the bad robots out of your planet and rescue the beautiful princess. And maybe to win her heart as a pleasant bonus. Okay, the robots from outer space that kidnap the princess do not really provide a background for some serious and complex story, but still better than nothing. The story is further developed mainly by the dialogues with NPCs in 16-bit console styles, just the pure text above the head of the game characters without any dubbing. Okay, the story is not one of the strongest sides of the game, so let's better take a look at the gameplay. Super Panda Adventures plays like a classic action platform. In the beginning, your hero can just move, jump, attack the enemies with his sword, and use a shield to protect himself from enemies' attacks. However, the gameplay is not linear, so you are not getting from one level to another, but there is a lot of backtracking. The levels are actually the parts of the big world, and you will be traveling between them on the world map. This makes the game a Metroidvania rather than a simple action platform. Typical gameplay situation looks like this then. You meet some NPC who gives you some task along with the hint where you should be looking for its accomplishment. It is usually in some other part of the world, or sometimes even in a different part of the same level. The parts of the world are unlocked at the time when you need them to successfully fulfill the NPC's task. The tasks themselves are not very original. Usually it's about finding something and bringing it back to the owner, lost sunglasses, puppy or family. Some tasks are also concern the main storyline, where you solve the mystery of an unexpected robot invasion to your planet and getting the clues where to find the kidnapped princess. For successfully accomplished quests, you usually get something useful to your inventory. I'm going to talk about it a bit later. You will visit each part of the game world many times, so let's have a look at the level design now. The level design is quite simple in its core. Just a lot of platforms that you need to move horizontally or vertically across or jump between. Water that your hero just walks in, despite the fact that pandas can normally swim, switches opening the way further or creating new platform that you can walk or jump across, and the traps like shards or thorns. Some parts of levels are accessible only with the key of appropriate color that you can either find somewhere or get from NPC for some completed quest. In some parts you can get into only when having some special abilities or items like Star Feather for example that allows you to use jump pads that are normally inactive without this item. This ensures that you will see some parts of the levels only in later phases of the game. There are also caves or tunnels where you can clearly see only the small enlightened circle around your hero, which make it quite hard to predict what comes next or what kind of enemies are ahead of you. In each level one can also find hidden or hard to access places where you can usually find some useful stuff like experience points or artifacts. In general, the level design looks simple on the first sight, but it provides enough complexity not to make you bored while going through the level several times. How about the variety of enemies and game environment? The first enemies you meet are big green blobs with a sleeping head that are quite slow and weak and also so cute looking that they almost make you feel sorry for eliminating them. Then comes some weird looking rabbits, whatever it is, shooting some kind of energetic projectiles at you, purple rhino-like creature quickly running towards you to give you the hug, maybe something else, when it spots you, and a big yellow flying bird that is hard to aim. The other creatures are robotic. A cowboy with fast-firing calls, a machine gun robot wearing Guy Fawkes mask, a crazy shielded robot that is vulnerable only if not covering behind his shield, and a tough professor-like robot throwing some unspecified red objects, a couple of boxing gloves at you. There are also static turrets, and I have also gone through the boss battle with a giant robotic blob shooting energetic projectiles. I would say that the variability of enemies is about average. Some of them are more original, some of them less, but I was missing some personality in them that would make them something more than just a bunch of anonymous tags. Maybe at least some short description or names for them. There is one more fact I dislike about fighting with enemies. If they stay close to the edge of the platform and you get in direct contact with them, or they hit you with their attack, it causes you jump back, which usually results in a fall from the platform. It's quite annoying, especially when you need to face enemies on small platforms. As for the game environment, I have seen 3 of them so far: the forest, mountains and desert. They differ mainly by colors: green for the forest, purple for mountains, not surprisingly I must say, and yellow and brown for the desert. And there are also dark caves and tunnels in almost each of them. It doesn't seem to be many, but the game quests make you change environments on a regular basis, and thanks to the good level design you will not lose the orientation, so you won't have a feeling like you are going through the same boring and repetitive environment that I had by playing Feudal Alloy, for example. I have already mentioned the inventory, so there are probably some RPG elements in the game, aren't there? There are RPG elements in Super Panda Adventures indeed, and they are surprisingly quite complex for the game with such a simple world. You get some experience for each killed enemy and also for collecting small XP in the form of golden coins, medium XP in the form of stars, and big XP in the form of crescent. Once you collect enough experience, your hero's level increases, which gives you 2 points that you can redistribute between the pairs. Besides the traditional ones like health, damage or shield or mana, yes, you can use the magic here too, up there are also the ones that increase the chance of critical strike that take a big bite of your enemy's health bar, circle of life increasing your hero's chance to recover some health points when hit the enemy by the sword, or stun mastery that increases the duration enemies are stunned when hit by your weapon attack. There are 16 perks that you can gradually unlock and upgrade by many times. That's not all. You also equip the sword, armor, throwing weapon and shield that you can upgrade for the orbs. You can either get them from NPCs as a reward for accomplished quests, or find them in a hard-to-access location, so it's really worth it to properly explore each level. The effect of upgrading this equipment is quite clear. The better sword or throwing weapon will cause the bigger damage, while the better armor will better protect you from the enemy's attacks. You can also collect up to 8 items giving you new abilities that usually provide you with the access to new parts of levels that were not accessible without it. For example, a grappling glove will give you the ability to grapple the edge of a cliff so you can jump to higher grounds, while Star Feather allows you to use jump pads that allow you to move to greater heights. And that's still not all that you can get. Okay, it sounds like a phrase for some annoying TV advertisement, but it's the truth here. You can also collect up to 8 relics that most likely give you additional bonuses to your abilities. I cannot confirm it for sure though, as you need to get 2 parts of each relic, and so far I have been able to get just half of Amulet of Life and half of Armor Bracelet, but one can predict what they are likely to doing by their names. In general, Super Panda Adventures have quite complex RPG elements that give you the motivation to discover new items and upgrades and enhance the gameplay quite a lot. Well done here! But isn't the game spoiled by frustrating difficulty or clunky controls? And the answer is luckily not this time. There are 5 levels of difficulty, so everyone can choose the one that suits them. I have played the game on the third one, normal difficulty, and can't say that the game was challenging but definitely not frustrating thanks to the checkpoints and upgrades of your character. Also, thanks to the good level design and characteristic features of each level, you won't get lost too often, which is a common problem of many Metroidvanias. As for the controls, I have played the game on the Xbox controller and I can say that they were responsive and precise enough. Maybe the long jumping sequences on the jump pads were quite irritating, as sometimes my panda hero did not jump as high as I would expect, which was followed by the long fall down and repeating the jumping sequence, but it's not something that would spoil the game experience too much. Will you be pleased by the game audiovisuals? Well, it depends if you are a fan of retro style or not. The graphics, music and sounds remind me of the old 16-bit console style, so if you like it, then Super Panda Adventures audiovisuals won't disappoint. The graphics are simple but smooth, detailed enough and in a high resolution. It reminds me of the Super Mario games by its style, which was maybe even the intention. There are not so many objects, the shapes of most of them are really simple, but it's still cute. Plus, it can be played even on pocket calculator, I would say. The sounds and music are also in 16-bit retro style and perfectly fits the game, so no complaints. Okay, let's summarize it now. Does Super Panda Adventures have something to offer that distinguishes it from other similar Metroidvanias and make it worth buying and playing? One can find really many pros in it. The story that is quite childish but still develops, many levels to explore, great level design that prevent you from getting lost, some interesting quests and enemies, complex RPG elements enhancing the gameplay in a great way, selectable level of difficulty, responsive controls, cute graphics, nice retro-like music and sounds. There are not too many downsides. Maybe too childish story and sense of humor, the variability of enemies could be bigger, some long jumping sequences, and your hero's jumping back reaction to the damage caused by the enemies. Unluckily, there is no local multiplayer that would make the game even better, but it's still suitable for family play. Especially because the parents would need to help younger kids with playing, as the solid reading ability is required and some parts of the game might also be too challenging for you. Super Panda Adventures costs €4 on Steam, which is a very good price for what the game offers, so I can recommend it even without the discount list. Don't be fooled by the game's childish look and sense of humor, as there is much more under the surface, including great level design and deep RPG elements motivating you to get further and discover new stuff. I have really enjoyed playing Super Panda Adventures and I am therefore giving it thumbs up and VideoGaming Father's index 8 out of 10. Recommended. Thank you for watching this video review, and if you like it, please don't forget about thumb up and subscribing to my VideoGaming Father's channel. Bye bye!